No one ever complained about the cold on Hoth. We never felt it. Even though we were blinded by blizzards, we could see the final end of the rebellion in our blaster sights. Was it only a mirage, perhaps? But on that day, on that planet, our blood ran hot with dreams of victory, melting the ice that stood in our way.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the finale of Let's Play Star Wars Battlefront 2. So, we are now here on one of the most famous encounters in one of the most critically acclaimed films of all time, the Battle of Hoth and The Empire Strikes Back. And the first thing here, we spawn at our transport vehicles, the AT-ATs, and there's another one of those transports that flew overhead there. And we can't damage it, they're all trying to escape, and this Hoth level has actually been, although a lot of these large-scale battles were actually downsized for Battlefront 2, this one was actually increased in the size of the map and added even more features that were previously unavailable, some of which you can't really utilize at once. If you play this in instant action, it's pretty much exactly the same as it was in the first game, minus the balancing tweaks that they made to the AT-ATs and to the snow speeders. The snow speeders, the Rebel snow speeders, are the only vehicles that are airborne on a ground battle in Battlefront 2, which is really unfortunate because I would have still loved to have had more battles with the LAT gunships and whatnot on a ground battle, and it's really a shame they took all those levels out. I don't know what they were thinking, but I've griped about that enough, and I've been complaining about that for years with this game, but eventually we'll get that. And it's actually quite possible to shoot down the snow speeders. I wanted to shoot one of them down just on screen there to demonstrate before we went on to capture this command post. Here we have to capture every single command post in the level, and if you're playing this in instant action, as the Empire, you start out with this command post over here, so you don't have to do this right away, but we have to crush all these guys, and the AT-ATs are extremely powerful, as they are in the just like they are in the first game. But in this one we have a primary attack, which is more along the lines of the type of balancing that you have in the vehicles in Battlefront 2. Then the secondary attack is this obscenely powerful green blast there, which still doesn't do quite as much splash damage as the attack did in the first game. I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get to the end of this mission with the same AT-AT. Hopefully, the engineer has actually every class in this whole level on both factions has a unique skin. These skins are all for specifically for Hoth. There's snow troopers, and the AT-AT drivers are the Imperial engineers for this level, and all the rebels have their snow gear and everything. The only ones that are not unique are the Dark Troopers. The Dark Troopers are exactly the same in every single level that they're in, but it's probably because the Dark Troopers were not in the films. They're technically an expanded universe character. Now the snow speeders do have those harpoons and tow cables that they use in the film that can take down the AT-ATs, but the AI is just not nearly competent enough to do that. If you see one latch onto you, then you better be ready to take that guy out. And it actually requires quite a lot of timing to be able to shoot down a snow speeder as it passes in front of you. And you got to know how to angle it right. There we go. That's a good shot. So it's pretty tricky to do, but it's possible. So I'm going to capture the command post and then move on. If I didn't say so before, this level is hard. This level is very hard, and it didn't seem like it would be, considering that the Empire had the blatant clear advantage in this level in the film, or this battle in the film. But it's very hard, and I think they wanted to make it hard because it's the final battle of the game. The reason why it's the final battle and we don't go on to see the battles that took place in Return of the Jedi is because, well, the Empire would lose. The first Battlefront's campaign had levels where you would eventually swap to play as the rebels, and you would finish the rest of the game. You'd do the Battle of Endor and all that, but we all know the Empire loses, so we can't really have that, unfortunately. So this is the last battle that the Empire really won. So this will therefore be the last mission. We can follow the 501st on their glorious quest of brotherhood and justice throughout the galaxy. And yep, it was a good run, and we really enjoyed it. We grew closer to our fellow troops and squad mates, and we survived some incredible battles, but it's all time for it to all come to a violent end as the Death Star blows up again. I had two snow speeders crash into me there. I'm trying to destroy a lot of those dish turrets over there because they're pretty powerful and they can do a lot of damage to our vehicle here after some persistent fire. I mean, they're not going to do a lot of damage right away, but if you persistently fire upon the same guy over and over again, you're going to eventually do a lot of damage. We're running out of reinforcements pretty fast here, but the more objectives we complete, the more we'll be able to circumvent that. And our reinforcements are not really the biggest problem here in this level. Our biggest problem is the objectives, because there are certain objectives that you have to be able to complete in a certain time, and it gets very unforgiving towards the end. This level has a time limit right from the very beginning. The whole mission has a time limit before we can destroy Echo Base before the rebel transports escape. So we have to crush the rebellion once and for all before they escape in 20 minutes. Now there's another new vehicle there, the AT-ST, which is a large size vehicle that is. It's a heavy vehicle, much like the Spider Walker, and it is much more powerful than the AT-RTs we saw in the Clone Wars era. And see, even there I got under 20 guys, but I still have like hardly any reinforcements now. So we're already cutting this close here right from the beginning. And they really pulled out all the stops for this level. They wanted to make it hard, and they sure did. Every time I complete an objective, I'm going to get back in the AT-AT. It's already taken about half health, so I really need to get rid of those dish turrets there. Now, because this thing is a command post and units spawn at it, you will get a lot of guys that will spawn as engineers and try to heal it for you, and that is good. And I'll do the same thing with my own fusion cutter if I have the time. Oh, almost got that snowspeeder. It's so close. Yeah, it's actually a lot harder to shoot down the snowspeeders in the first game, because your projectiles move so much slower. The snowspeeders have a lot more reasonable amount of health. But you could always get them with your rocket launcher if you were a shock trooper on the ground. So there's the shield generator for Echo Base. 3 times in this level, actually, we're going to get clips from the film that are going to come in, and I'm actually going to try not to skip them if I can, unless I accidentally hit a button. And this will be the only time I'll show those on screen, because they really add a lot. At other times, they only show the clips from the film at the beginning and ending of a level. Oh, I accidentally skipped it. Okay, so we won't see that one, but we'll see the other one. So this might be one of the most well-adapted battles in all of Star Wars when you think about it. I mean, this is perfectly screen accurate. That command post over there we actually don't have to take over now that we've destroyed the shield bunker. I'm sorry, the shield generator. I'm thinking of the Endor level again. We just have to get inside Echo Base now and take it over, and that's easier said than done. Because I have to... I'm not really worried about running out of time in this level at all. I just need to get the AT-AT all the way over there, which does take some time. And if I lose the AT-AT, then I've lost a tremendous amount of time, because then I got to get the big elephant fricker all the way from the beginning of the level and walk him all the way over here. He's incredibly slow. We won't have nearly as much enemy resistance, but we'll be losing reinforcements pretty fast. We get a command post that just kind of spawns down there at the shield generator. But hopefully we won't need it. Hopefully we'll be able to spawn right in front of Echo Base with the AT-AT, and there won't be a whole lot of resistance there. Unfortunately, there is. I'm trying to destroy all these turrets there. Those Hoth defense turrets don't do a whole lot of damage to vehicles in this. They behave like regular turrets, and the dish turrets behave like you can charge them up and whatnot. Ah, so close. He got away. Yeah, the secondary gunner position in the snowspeeder in the first Battlefront had a gunner on the back you could shoot at the ground. It's actually a lot more effective. In this one, it's just the harpoon and tow cable, which is kind of unfortunate, but it still allows for some. It's incredibly fun to play because you can have a realistic reenactment of that battle in the movie, where you have your co-pilot in the back who's your gunner who latches onto the AT-AT and eventually knocks it down if you're skilled enough. So it's quite a lot of fun. And the secondary gunner position in the AT-ST is another one of those homing missile things, and hopefully we'll be able to show that off on screen here. And he's going to go crash into the side of the hill there because altitude. Oh, we took another hit, but he's still not dead. Off with you! There we go. So now we're right in front of Echo Base, and the snowspeeders are piling out here one at a time. And honestly, we will either use the snowspeeders as cover, or that one crashed into the AT-ST and blew up. But ATST, I'm so glad he followed us all the way over here because he is going to provide a lot more aggro from the infantry over there so we can try to get inside Echo Base and take it on. He's taking a lot of damage though, so I'm kind of worried about this. Now, I'm probably... See, yeah, he used his secondary gunner used the homing missile, although it just kind of skimmed the ground and blew up, so it was very ineffectual. But this is... I'm probably going to die a lot in this encounter, because this is probably one of the hardest encounters in the whole game, which is trying to conquer Echo Base. I've only got 36 guys. The hardest part about this is the fact that you don't really have any other guys with you. A lot of your other guys are at the other command post I said we didn't have to capture, but it's a command post and ends in action. And it's really tricky. Dang it, I thought I had it there. The problem is once you get the command post neutral, they can just recapture it. So I'm switching over to the Dark Trooper so I can do another jetpack cancel to get back in there. And hopefully my guys will start spawning at the AT-AT, or at least at the shield generator to get in here. So the new things added to this, well, I guess I should say again, this level's been adapted pretty well, because in the hangar in Echo Base looks great. All the spawn points are in great locations. I mean, this is really what sold the first Star Wars Battlefront. I feel like is just how great this level was, and a lot of the other iconic levels from the films too. But this level's been adapted pretty well in the past too, because it was in Super Star Wars, it was in Shadows of the Empire, it was in the first Battlefront, it was in Lego Star Wars 2. Hell, there was even a Hoth level in the DLC, the Ultimate Sith Edition DLC for The Force Unleashed, although that's not canon. Well, it wasn't even canon back before Disney owned it, but we won't talk about that now, will we? Yeah, I'm so incredibly outnumbered here because pretty much every unit they have is spawning right here and there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm really just trying to be patient, use the SO speeders and the crates here for cover, and just try to get through here, and it's still not really working all that well. Oh well, perseverance. So after we do capture Echo Base, though, you'll be able to see the changes that they've made to this map from the first game. They have expanded it even further beyond the boundaries that it originally had. It's still exactly the same size as it was, but it runs more optimally. Obviously the snowspeeders behave more like the space vehicles do in this game. And you can still use them to take out ground enemies if you so choose to, but it's a lot more difficult. Trying to use them against the ATST is not recommended. Anyway, you can... when we capture Echo Base here, there's an interior hallways, all the little catacombs inside Echo Base's underground area here that you can go through. And in the first game, all that led is a pathway from this command post to the one over there on the outside that I said we didn't have to capture. In this game, they have that, plus that entire area in the back there you briefly saw on the map, that giant bubble area, and that is beyond those shields there. It's a whole new area added for this version of the level. And there's more catacombs back there, there's a whole nother hangar back there, and there's this entire exterior section where the rebel transports are. And it's not utilized in instant action, but if you play a CTF match here, the CTF match takes place in this part of the map, and it's really, really a lot of fun. There's the Millennium Falcon. So that's going to be taking off here in a moment, just like in the film. We got to capture this command post here, which is pretty easy as Darth Vader. As I said before, in the Tangent 4 level, we can just mow right through these guys. But yeah, they went really just so all out for this level. They really did a fantastic job at adapting it. I can't say enough how thorough they were with the detail, and I wish they would have done the same thing with every level, and I wish they would have left the Geonosis level the same. Although, again, I've ranted about that enough. I should just let it go. Drat. And if you turn around, the game just straight up deleted the model for the Millennium Falcon there. There was an auto turret on the Millennium Falcon underneath too, which is also seen in the film. So we're going to try to utilize what time we have left as Darth Vader to get rid of some of these defenses out here. There are more tower turrets and dish turrets out here, and there's also these repeating blaster auto turrets that are really nasty, and I tried to kill as many of them as I could, but I really didn't do that great of a job. I wish I could have done better at that, but I wanted to get rid of as many of them as possible, because our final objective here is to take this beacon and place it underneath their transport so we can do an orbital strike and destroy it before it escapes. The problem is getting over there is incredibly difficult with all the enemy resistance, especially those auto turrets. So if you can destroy them, you'll be in a lot better shape, and there's ways we can go around and exploit. But I suppose that's it. That's all there is to it. Once we do this, we'll have completed the mission. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This has been a phenomenally fun Let's Play to do. One of my favorite games of all time. This is tied with maybe 4 or 5 other games as my absolute favorite game of all time. And I've put thousands of hours into it, and I plan to keep playing it to my heart's content. And this won't be the final level. I'm sorry, this is the final level. This won't be the final video either, because I plan to do a glitch exposition video for this game, because there are some hilarious glitches that we can exploit in some of these other levels, including Paul's Massa, and also the cheat codes for the game as well, which also contribute to some of the hilarious glitch moves that we can do. So I will do that, and I will see you guys next time. Might be a couple days. I'll try to record some Boltstorm before we get into that, but it should be fun.